This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bumper to Bumper Radio. We've got a little special show today. We are broadcasting live from WestWorld at the Get Outdoors Expo. So this is Mike Russell's territory out here, and we thought we would just come out, help out, come check out the place, and we're going to talk cars while we're here today, as always, on Bumper to Bumper Radio every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. And I am Matt Allen. Dave Riccio is off today. I've been taking my vacations, and now it's his turn. So I think he's probably cruising across the desert, heading to the cool beach of San Diego. So I've got Tim Nelson from my shop, from Virginia Auto Service, in here to help carry some conversation, maybe answer some questions. Right, Tim?
Yes, good morning, Matt. Yeah, we're happy to be out here today.
Yeah, give some feedback. A lot going on here. So, as always, again, we're here to help you with your car. This car show, Bumper to Bumper Radio, is about you. So we want to help you with your car, whether you're cruising around town today and you think you have a problem with the car, maybe that pesky check engine light's flashing, or maybe a tire light is on, or that little symbol on the dash, you don't know what it means. Maybe the shop that you go to gave you a big list of repairs and you're really not sure how to handle it or what needs to be done. Anything related to your car, we're here to help you. And, if you want to chime in, get on the air, ask a question, 602-277-5827 is 602-277-KTAR. And, again, we're out here at WestWorld. We'll be here all day till 4 o'clock. And I think tomorrow we won't be here, but the show will be happening 11 to 3. And I'll tell you what, if you're the outdoors, you know what? You don't have to be the outdoors person to be out here, because there's all kinds of stuff going on there. I got this giant cornhole tournament going on in front of me, and we got this lumberjack competition going on. You might hear some chainsaws roaring in the background here shortly, but there's just everything to do out here. I know that at my house the kids get bored. We're bored, Dad. We're sitting around the house all day. It's hot outside. This is air conditioned out here. There is a lot happening. So come join us at WestWorld. And, we've been talking the last several weeks about the car, what to expect when you get to the repair shop, how much should it cost, how long is it going to take to get my car fixed, or what do we do when the shop can't find the problem. And so I thought today maybe we'd talk a little bit about, since we're at the outdoor show, the Expo, what do you need to do with your car if you're the outdoors guy or gal, and you're towing your car, hopefully you're not towing your car. We want to avoid you having to call our friends at the towing company. Yeah, whether you're towing your boat, maybe it's your camper, your fifth wheel, or something like that. There's definitely some maintenance that needs to be done. But before we go there, Tim, we had an interesting conversation in the shop late yesterday afternoon. A guy comes in, he's a little frantic, didn't he? Didn't you see him?
A little frantic, yeah.
He was short of breath, and he just came from one of the Toyota dealer, and he thought, God, I think I'm just tired of getting taken. I had this alternator put on, and it was $1,200, and God, is that too much? And that's just crazy. Every time I go in, it's $500. And we had several people sitting in the office, so I said, well, let me have your bill. Just, have a seat, relax. I'm going to look at your bill. So I went and did a little comparison, and everything was appropriate. We were a little bit less on one thing, a little bit more on the battery, but we were less on the alternator. Labor was about the same, and I think our bill was in about $50. They were within $50 of us after he got a $100 discount. But what was interesting, he said, every time I go in, it's $500.
Yeah, we hear that a lot too,
And that's okay, I guess. I mean, a 160,000-mile van. So the first thing, the price was right. But because he was questioning that price, now he's starting to question every time I go in. And so the conversation was, there were some people in the office, and we started getting this little three-way, four-way conversation going with some other customers. And I said, the average car that comes in here, our average repair, now we're talking an engine to an oil change, maybe regular maintenance on your timing belt, but the average person that comes in spends $500. That's the average repair order. And so it's not unusual for it to be $500 every time.
Exactly.
But especially as you get a car that gets a little bit older. I mean, the new car is not going to be $500 every time. It's going to be $50 every time for the first couple of years. You're going to have what?
Yeah, just your regular maintenance, oil change, cabin filters, tire rotation.
Yeah, not much until 30 or 40,000 miles these days.
But now you're keeping your car for 200,000 miles. So when you get past that point of just the early maintenance, then you got to spend some money to keep that car going for the longer period. So you don't have to have that car payment anymore.
Well, and it's kind of funny sometimes. There was a gal yesterday with a Ford, and she had a little problem, and she says, well, now, of course, that the car's paid off, I'm going to have to start spending money on it. It's kind of like go figure kind of thing. And it's a classic line. She says, I can't believe this is wrong with it. I've never had to do anything.
And that's not usually a good thing when you say that.
I said, well, since you've never had to do anything, are you surprised that now you have to do something? I mean, the car's paid for, so that means it's probably 5 or 6 years old. And now I told her, I said, I think you owe the car a little bit. It's been very good to you for 90,000 miles and in 5 or 6 years. So now you are going to have to take care of it. So you need to plan these things. And just set some money aside for repairs, review your owner's manual, and just always plan for the maintenance, plan for the breakdowns, so it doesn't become stressful. And that's the other thing we talked about is alleviating your anxiety or your stress while you're having your car repaired. And I would say the biggest thing that people have anxiety about is usually the finances, wouldn't you, Tim?
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I mean, for some people, it's I got to get to work, and that probably translate right back to finance because they need to get to work. Or some people, maybe it's not a money thing, but it's I got to get the kids, I've got to get to karate practice, I've got to do all these other things, or pick up my wife. Who knows what it is? So we want to try and have a plan. So budgeting is one thing. Making sure you've got your roadside service up to date with hopefully your insurance company, not a regular motor club, but I prefer to use the insurance companies and have that stuff done. But then most importantly, let's not get ourselves in a situation to have a breakdown, right?
Yeah, you want to maintain the car, and that's the less chance of having a breakdown. So if you do your regular maintenance, you never know when an alternator is going to go out.
Yeah,
but
you can't predict that.
As long as you do your fluids and stuff, you have the better chance of keeping that car maintained well and not breaking down.
So for our outdoors people out here, let's say we've got our truck. Doesn't matter what kind of truck it is, just a truck. Maybe it's an SUV, whatever, and you're towing your boat. So let's think about the things that happen when we're towing our boat or trailer. What other parts of the car get exercised a little bit more? Right off the top of my head, I mean, we've got to adjust our tire pressures. If you look at the placard on the door decal, you're going to see there's a pressure for loaded and unloaded, or depending on what the weight is in the vehicle. Well, you may not want to have 60 pounds of pressure in your tires, on the rear tires of your truck while you're cruising around town, but when you tow the boat, you might need to update the pressure to the appropriate pressure. So you've got to have a good tire pressure gauge and understand that you need to go back and forth between these pressures. The right tire pressure towing the boat is different than the tire pressure not towing the boat. But let's think about what happens when we get to the lake. We go back in the water, that rear axle goes down in, it's really hot. So when you take something that's hot and then you dip it in cold water or cool water, because we don't have any cold water in the lake, what's it going to do? It's going to make all that stuff contract, and it'll act like a vacuum. So oftentimes we'll see rear differentials on trucks that they commonly use at the lake, and it sucks the water in because it's hot and it's cooling. So that rear differential fluid needs to be changed more frequently. But what are we doing when we're back into the water and we're submersing the differential? We're submersing the brakes.
Yeah, the brakes are going to be there, so you got to make sure the brakes are maintained well.
Yeah, and I don't think, it's not going to cause extra wear just because you're putting the brakes down in the water. But what happens is you get water into the caliper slide pins. Maybe you get some water in behind the dust boot that's made to keep the dust and the moisture out. But you know what? That's hot too. So when it backs down in, it might suck some moisture in. And maybe occasionally those rear brake calipers need to be cleaned up and lubricated as if we were doing a brake job, but it doesn't really need a brake job.
But then also you have to, if you're towing, you want to make sure that you're more frequently doing your transmission fluid.
Well,
that's important too.
That's right. I mean, if Dave was here, he would, try. I think he bleeds transmission fluid.
Yeah.
That red is not blood running out of Dave's veins. That's transmission fluid. But he would for sure be talking about the frequency of the transmission. The fluid is the lifeblood of that transmission, and the heat kills the transmission. So we've got to keep good fluid in the car. And again, you can get some moisture in the transmission fluid possibly. I hope you're not backing down that far into the lake, because if you're getting water in your transmission, you might have an issue. But then, dusty conditions. Maybe we're not all going to the lake. But towing, it doesn't matter if it's your fifth wheel or your toy hauler or even your little pop-up. Maybe you don't have a truck. Maybe you've got a Subaru and you're towing your little pop-up trailer. That's a great car maybe to do that with. You've really got to think about the maintenance. And when it comes time to even select your tow vehicle, it's one thing to have enough power to go, but you got to make sure you can stop that thing. So, the other tip to think about is when you're out maybe car shopping or boat shopping or trailer shopping, is to make sure that you're towing, what you're buying, you're going to be able to tow with your car. Because that's the other thing we see. We'll see trucks come in, and they are just worn out. And I ask the guy, what are you doing? What are you towing this? Oh, I got a 35-foot something or other. This is the biggest son of a gun they make. And I'm like, holy mackerel, I can't believe this thing. You're overusing your truck, so you want to make sure you're not, you're not wearing the truck out prematurely or the car for that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
We see cars overloaded a lot. So we are here to help you with your car. So whatever you have, any questions, 602-277-5827 is 602-277-KTAR. We're taking your calls. We're helping you with your car. Anything you want to talk about, please give us a call, and we'll help you. We'll be right back.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Hi, I'm Kurt Morgan, owner of Shadow Mountain Auto Service in Phoenix. I'm also a college automotive instructor, and I've been a technician for over 30 years. In that time, I've seen all kinds of games and gimmicks in the auto repair business, the worst of which seems to be associated with transmissions. I think it's because, to most, including technicians, the inside of a transmission is a mystery. So when one of our valued customers has a transmission problem, we send them straight to Tri-City Transmission. No games, no gimmicks. That's Tri-City Transmission.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and Bumper to Bumper Radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.
Well, that's right. We are on the road again. I mean, I'm not cruising down the highway. I think that's more what that song is all about. Oh, some Willie there, but we are on the road with Bumper to Bumper Radio today. So instead of being in the studio, we are out at WestWorld of Scottsdale, and that's where you should be too. There is the Arizona Get Outdoors Expo is here. Yeah, Kerry's sitting across from me, kind of crossed his arms, like, it's a little chilly in here. So, like I said when we opened up, my kids are harping on me. We're bored. We're this, we're that. There's a lot of stuff to do out here. There's more kids, I think, than adults. Don't let that scare you away, adults. So there's, what I think is really neat. They've got the Bass Pro Shops bass fishing and trout fishing tanks over there, and the kids are all lined up, and it's just neat to see the looks on their faces when they catch the first fish. I know I brought my girls out here last year, and but now they're up the Grand Canyon. The whole family, except for me, is enjoying Williams. So they're doing their part to get outdoors and enjoy the state of Arizona. So, again, I am Matt Allen. Dave Riccio is on vacation. Tim Nelson from Virginia Auto Service is here to help carry the calls and help maybe answer some questions. So if you want to talk about your car, it doesn't matter what it is. Maybe you've got a light flashing on the dash, or you're tired of your old jalopy and you think you want to get a new car, or how do you sell it? How do you buy a used one? How do you buy a new one? It doesn't matter. 602-277-5827 is 602-277-KTAR. We're taking your calls. So we talked about preparing for breakdowns. We talked about what to expect in the shop. Talked a little bit about before the break of, you're using your truck or your car, and you're the one outdoors, and you're towing your pop-up tent with maybe the small car or the big fifth wheel. Talk about or towing the boat, going to the lake, and some of the maintenance. The transmission maybe needs to be checked out more frequently and have it serviced. Differential. We're going to talk about the transfer case. Maybe you like to use your truck and you like to get to the remote camping spot, right? And you want to use your four-wheel drive a lot. So we've got to check the transfer case fluid. Even though you're not using your four-wheel drive, that transfer case is always working.
Yep.
And it doesn't hold much fluid. And that will just lose some fluid over minor evaporation over time. You don't necessarily have to have a leak to have that be low. So we've got to look at our axles and our differentials, and maybe you're four-wheeling and the shocks and that kind of stuff. They don't need necessarily a bunch of extra care. You just need to make sure they are being taken care of to not need the extra care. And one of the other things I could think, could you imagine being the guy that goes out four-wheeling, you got the wife and the family or whatever you're doing, I don't care if you're by yourself for that matter, and you're stuck because you didn't get the car checked, you got a dead battery or something. So we really need to think about not only just taking care of the car, but maybe our little survival kit. A spare battery maybe. If you're going, I'm talking remote.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk 15 miles on a dirt road to go find somebody. For those of you that get out there and get remote like that, I think that they're veterans of preparation, though. They've got their rations and all the supplies that they need. But just even the little jump start battery, you'd be surprised. This little thing that we can carry around and throw in my backpack to take on vacation with me and charge my phone or whatnot, that will still jumpstart my car. So,
but one thing too, also I just want to throw in there, if about being prepared, you want to do that weeks before that you're going on that trip, not the day before.
Yeah,
it's very important, to get that in the car. Like if I'm going in September, I want to get my car in there in the first of August.
Yeah,
get it checked out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very important, the timing of that.
Do it ahead of time. So when you start planning that trip, start making the reservation at the shop to get in and take a look. So I believe we've got a couple callers. We're going a little remote control today, and I think we've got Jim with the 2006 Ford F150 that's got a question. Are you there, Jim?
I am. How are you guys?
Doing well. Hopefully you can hear us well. What can we help you with in your truck?
Hey, I got the 2006 F150 XL, just two-wheel drive, and I've had it actually at a couple of different shops for alignment. However, they're telling me it's within specs. It may be just a hair out, but I'm having outside tire wear.
Okay.
On both tires.
Okay.
It's excessive from the inside of the tire to the outside.
Uh-huh. Okay.
The vehicle doesn't pull to either side when going down the road, but another shop that I inquired about the problem, told me that these trucks are incredibly hard on front tires for whatever reason.
Right, they could be. They could be tire eaters. Alignments are one of my pet peeves. When someone says it's in spec, to me it almost sounds like, well, it's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. It's in spec. The idea is not to make it in specification. The idea when you do an alignment is to make the car go straight. And I can remember 20 plus years ago when I went to alignment school and learned how to do alignments, We had all the computerized alignment machines back then, but we weren't allowed to use them. We had to do our alignment school and do our proof and do our test and everything using the old school way like they did in the 50s and 60s and 70s with bubble gauges and tape measures. And that's how people need to learn how to do alignments. They've got these great alignment systems now, but quite honestly, they're made for dummies. If you can make the thing turn green and everything looks green, well, the alignment must be good. But if you're at the maximum left side specification on one side, the left side of the vehicle, and you're at the maximum, you're at the way opposite end of the spectrum on the right side of the vehicle, you can still be in spec, but it's a horrible alignment. I can make everything on there in spec, but it doesn't mean the car is going to go straight. The car needs to get a proper alignment. Now, that's not to say you're still not going to wear tires, but I think we need to think outside the box a little bit sometimes. And if you go to a shop where they're good at doing alignments, they don't care what the specs are. We're going to look at the measurements, and we know what to adjust. Try one of the bumper-to-bumper radio shops if you don't have one. I mean, I'm in Central Phoenix. We could take care of you. And, and I'll even make a referral. There's a shop that's not on the bumper-to-bumper list, but it's called Jack's Wheel Alignment, or they're like 26th Street and Thomas. Those guys, you go in there, you maybe don't even have to get an alignment. Just pull up and talk to them. And they're going to tell you, yeah, this is a front end eater, or this thing eats tires. Yeah, we're going to be able to take a look at that, or we don't need to. It's good. They will be able to tell you what to expect. So thanks for the call, Jim. We're going to go with Bill. I think this is F-150 day. Bill is lucky enough to have a 2017 F-150 and has a question. What can we help you with, Bill?
Well, hi, Matt, and thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Matt, I have that 2017 F-150. And it's got the 3.5 EcoBoost, which is, to me, a phenomenal engine. It gets great gas mileage. And I was driving the other day with a friend, and he said, boy, this gas mileage is really great. And we were talking about when I'm doing highway cruising and I take my foot off the gas, is the engine actually burning fuel, or does it somehow shut off the fuel when it's coasting?
Okay, well, thanks for the call. It's a good question. I can't answer exactly on the strategy that Ford has developed there, but it's got to burn some fuel because it's still running, but it's going to be very, very little fuel. And, they get that great mileage and power out of there by having a smaller displacement. I mean, you look at the F-150, it's a beautiful truck, and you think, how's that little V6 tow? But that thing's got a ton of horsepower, lots of torque. It's a great truck. I've driven them on a Ford test day, so a great product. And so hopefully that helps you. We're out here at the Get Outdoor Expo, and come join us, and we will be right back after this break. You're listening to Matt and Tim on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Do you live or work in the Biltmore area? Then you need to play in the Biltmore Buddies Golf League. Grab a friend or significant other and join us for 9 holes of golf, a few drinks, and a great time. The league tees off at 3:30 p.m. on Thursdays and costs just $35 per person and includes winners' prizes and on-course prizes. That's 9 holes, a drink, and practice balls, all for just $35 per person. Ready to play? Contact the Arizona Biltmore at 602-955-9794 and then tee it up in the Biltmore Buddies Golf League.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships. And listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Bunker to Bunker, the golf show's famous two-person scramble, is heading to the spectacular Ambiente course at Camelback Golf Club on Saturday, July 22nd, with proceeds benefiting the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Phoenix. Play for the day or make it a staycation with our special JW Marriott Summer Swing Stay and Play rates. Tourney includes golf, lunch, awards, raffle, and a bounce-back golf coupon, all for just $98. And room nights at JW Marriott Camelback Inn Resort and Spa, starting at just $99. Sign up today at bunkergolf.com.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20 plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Arizona's news station. KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic now.
It's 11:30. I'm Tom Perumian. Here's our top story. Firefighters in Honolulu have put out flames that rekindled after a deadly fire in a high-rise apartment building. Inspectors are now searching the massive building with more than 800 apartments, making sure there are no other victims. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports.
Fire officials in Honolulu say some areas of that high-rise were still smoldering this morning after flames ripped through parts of the Marco Polo apartment building, killing at least 3 people. The fire started Friday on the 26th floor.
12 people, including a Honolulu firefighter, were injured. The cause of the high-rise fire is still under investigation. A suburban Philadelphia prosecutor says he may never understand why a pair of 20-year-old cousins allegedly lured young men to a farm to sell them pot and then killed them without so much as an argument. Authorities believe Cosmo DiNardo killed 4 men reported missing this month and buried their bodies in deep pits on his family's bucolic farm. Cousin Sean Kratz has been charged in 3 of the deaths based on the pair's police statements. Let's get a look at traffic. Here's Mike Daniels in the KTAR Traffic Center.
Well, thanks, Tom. If you head north on the 17, expect some delays. 17 northbound at Rock Springs Canyon Road. We got a wreck blocking the left lane. Again, expect some heavy delays in that area. And we got a crash at 35th Avenue and Bell Road. This report brought to you by Papa John's. Order the Goldie Special, a large 3-topping pizza, and any 2-liter Pepsi product for $13.44 with $1 from each sale donated to Goldie's Fund for Kids. Enter promo code Goldie at papajohns.com. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
Cloudy and hot today, 108 our expected high, 104 tomorrow under cloudy skies, and then 99 degrees and rain on Monday. Right now, 102 degrees in Maricopa. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. I'm Tom Perumian on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
We're bringing the outdoors indoors this weekend. It's the Arizona Get Outdoors Expo, today and tomorrow. Bring your whole family along for this fun-filled event in the air-conditioned WestWorld. If you like hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, boating, rock climbing, biking, running, yoga, if it's part of the outdoor lifestyle, you'll find it at the Arizona Get Outdoors Expo, today and tomorrow at WestWorld in Scottsdale. Don't miss the Paul Bunyan Lumberjack Show featuring world champion lumberjacks. Go to azgetoutdoors.com and get more info now.
Hi, I'm Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission. Well, you may have come to know us for being a transmission expert. What you may not know is that our customers regularly ask us why we don't perform repairs to the rest of the vehicle. You guys are so great. Why work on just the transmission? Well, the requests became hard to ignore, and 3 years ago, we began to build an infrastructure to perform general automotive repair. We weren't going to do general repair if we couldn't be great at it. So in 2013, we began the soft opening of Tri-City Auto Repair on Smith Road. We brought on ASE Master Technicians to work side by side with our Master Transmission Technicians. The combination of the best in both of these trades has created a synergy that allows us not only to fix your transmission, but to service and repair your whole car, and to do it well. Let's face it, the modern car has become so integrated. We believe all of our expert knowledge puts us ahead of the curve. Find us at TricityTransmission.com or TempeAutoRepairShop.com. That's TempeAutoRepairShop.com.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
All righty, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Matt Allen, along with Tim and Nelson, joining us this week from Virginia Auto Service. And we are here, as usual, every single Saturday to help you with your car. But I tell you what, one place we are not every Saturday is WestWorld. But that's where we are today, out here at the Arizona Get Outdoors Expo. And
there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
There's kids everywhere. There's adults. There's all kinds of stuff here to look at, to see. You know, we talk about our cars a lot on this. Well, not a lot on the show. Every single weekend on the show, we're talking about cars. But you know, take that car, and I'm going to sound like Mike Russell here for a minute, and go get outdoors and go cruise around the state and find the things to do. And I'm amazed as I got here early before the event opened. I'm just wandering around. I'm learning all these things that we have to do in this great state of ours that I never even knew of. There's all kinds of vendors here. There's people from Game and Fish. There's Bass Pro Shops with their fishing setup. I mean, bring the kids out here. And I did it a couple years ago, and I said it earlier. The look on the kids' face when they pull that little trout or bass, whatever other kind of fishy fish is in the water over there. When they pull that thing out of the water for the first time and their eyes light up, it's something neat to see. And I want to give a shout out to this guy, Slavo Salt over there. They have some very fantastic rubs and stuff. I went over and grabbed some. I think I'll try on a steak later today. And our friends over at Hybrid Lights over there, solar-powered lights and lanterns, and you can charge your phone with them, and got headlights and the deal to wear in your head. And that is something maybe you want to buy and throw in your glove box. It's always good to have a good flashlight in the car. I know I lose stuff in the car, and those darn interior lights are never bright enough. It's nice to have my hybrid light in the car. So
add that flashlight to all the stuff when you're packing on that road trip, extra stuff in case you do get stuck on the 17.
Yeah, well, we just heard on the news, and you mentioned it before, Tim, 17 times so far this summer, I-17 has been closed from an accident, a fire, or whatever it is. And
you got to have those snacks and water.
And it's not like we're going to starve to death. I used to say, what do you need to eat in the car for? I'd tease my friends because their car is always a mess. And this is before I had kids. And what are your kids going to starve to death between Flagstaff and Phoenix? Give me a break. Man, it's just more like a muffler. It's just to keep them quiet and entertained. Here's some food, some snacks, but it's necessary. You need to have some water, And one thing I think about, I was telling my buddy the other day, he's up in Munns Park and was stuck for a while. And he's like, I was getting a little nervous. I was running on the bottom side of my gas tank, but I'm sitting here idling for 2 hours. Make sure that fuel tank's full. Can you imagine being stuck on the side of the road for a closure for 2 hours, and then you run out of gas? Or
double whammy.
Or you're sitting there and you cannot run your air conditioner. You can't run the car because you're afraid you're going to run out of fuel. That's no fun either. And one of the things we talked about, Tim, is prepping the cars for, whether you're getting outdoors and you're towing your boat. We talked about the tires. I've seen more and more tire carcasses on the freeway lately. I hit one the other day. Unfortunately, luckily didn't damage my truck or anything, but it's just a sign the streets are hot, the roads are hot, and people are having tire failures. And that's really one of the, besides the inconvenience, that's the most dangerous item on the car too. So get to your tire shop, get to your mechanic shop. We've got S&S Tires as one of the bumper to bumper shops. Go see them or Discount or whoever it is that you need to. So we have got some calls, I believe, coming up here. I think we've got Scott that's got a Kia with a question. Scott, are you there? Can we help you today?
I'm here.
All right.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
What's going on?
I've got two questions. If you don't have time to answer the second one, I understand.
No,
the cruise control on this, the master switch over on the left, when I turn it on, the light comes on. But then on the steering wheel, I've got the things to set the speed and accelerate and all those, and I can't get any of those to work.
Okay. Are there any other controls on the steering wheel, like volume or anything like that?
No, they're the only ones.
They're the only ones. Okay. And what's your second question?
With my remote lock and unlock, when I push the button, it clicks. But just in the last week, when I push the button, I get a series of clicks, 7 or 8, when I lock or unlock. And I haven't taken it in yet to have him look at it.
Okay. What about if you try to operate the lock not using the remote control, but using the power door lock button on the door itself?
Okay, I haven't tried that yet. But.
Okay. All right, well, good questions. Thanks for calling. On the cruise control, the fact that you turn the button on and it lights up, it's indicated that that light is probably working. The other switches aren't working. We've got to connect the steering wheel. The switch, we've got to have wires that come from the steering wheel and go down the steering column. And we know how that works out. You can't just have a cable wrapped up in there. So what I'm thinking, there's a part in there called a clock spring. And I don't know why they call it a clock spring, because it's not a clock and it's not a spring either. But it is a ribbon of wire that can spool up or turn. There's enough slack in it to tighten and loosen as you turn the steering wheel right to left. Oftentimes those are like a paper clip. You can only bend a paper clip so many times before it wears out. So sometimes we see the clock spring go bad because that's the connection between the buttons and the cruise control module or the body control module or whatever it is that's controlling the steering wheel. The reason I asked you if there was another control there, for example, if you had volume control for the radio there and that didn't work either, I really have a strong suspicion that it would be that the clock spring. You could have a switch, but that's one of the things you're going to need to get into a shop and have them diagnose it. Now, as far as the locks, I wanted you to see if it worked when you did the door, to see if it's something related to the remote control. I seriously doubt it's related to the remote control. I suspect that what we will find is one of those door lock actuators is probably failing. So the clicking you're hearing is that thing trying to open up.
Yeah, open up and unlock and lock. Yeah, that's what I would say.
So it's just a matter of having the right scan tool. The two of those could be related, but I highly doubt that we have a common electrical failure that's causing both your problems. So, Scott, thanks for the call. Get your Kia in. Get it to a shop. Have them check it out. Make sure they got the right diagnostic equipment. And if you don't have that shop and you want to get away from the dealership, go to bumpertobumperradio.com. Put in your zip code, maybe where you live, maybe where you work, and see if there's a couple shops there that might be able to help you out. So, thanks for the call. We've got Colette calling. She's got a 2009 Nissan Versa. Colette, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. What can we help you with today?
Well, hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure, you're welcome.
Yeah, my 2009 Nissan Versa, here I'm driving the other day, and everything's just running real smooth, and all of a sudden it's like it skips a beat. And when it did that, the service engine light came on. And then I went and I parked it and started it back up, and everything started fine. It drove fine and everything, but the service engine light stayed on. So I went to an AutoZone, and they did the code read. And the code went and said that it's something with the accelerator with a brake with a gas pedal. And that's all he could really tell me. So what I want to know is, you think it's safe to drive this for a while so I can get it into a shop, or you think it's going to go completely dead on me?
Well, it could go completely dead on you, and let me explain to you what I think happened there. And thanks for listening, and thanks for calling in. Most importantly, that it's called an APP, and I don't know what the code was exactly. We didn't get the number, but it's an accelerator pedal position sensor could be the failure. And if that Nissan works like most of the other ones that I'm thinking of, it's fly-by-wire. We used to have a cable that attached our foot pedal to the carburetor, to the fuel injection system, the throttle body to open up the gas to give it gas, right? Well, now there's no wire. We're doing this electronically. So the computer has to have a fail-safe in there. It can't allow the car to just go rogue and take off on acceleration.
But that's a Versa, not a Rogue.
Yes, I knew you were going to come up with some smart aleck remark, and I was thinking that right when I said it. But so there's redundant switches in there. The system wants to see two inputs from the accelerator pedal before it's going to accelerate the car. So I suspect what happened is it lost that input, and it went into a limp mode or just went flat. It's not going to...
And that was the hiccup she felt.
Yeah, it's just a hiccup, and it's not going to let you accelerate. So now when you go reset the car, that resets it out of limp mode probably. It's going to allow the check engine light to stay on because you need to get it checked. But that's what happened there. So who knows what it is? It could be a sensor. It could be a bad pedal position sensor. Could be a bad throttle body. There's a number of different things it could be. I don't know that it's unsafe to drive, but I think you need to get it to the shop. Just like I told a customer yesterday, you're okay, but just don't be doing unnecessary driving. Get out and just get it to the shop when you can. So thanks for the call. We're going to take Josh real quick before our next race. I think Josh has a Nissan Altima. Josh, what's going on?
Hey, guys. How are you guys?
Doing well, thanks.
Good. Hey, quick question for you. I have a 2001 Nissan Altima. Has 195,000 miles. Good little car. Runs relatively good. I know it's about 16, 17 years old. It has I'm getting a leak. It looks like from the oil pan, so I'm thinking it might be an oil pan gasket. So I was thinking about taking it in, but I'm a little hesitant because if I take it into a shop, do you think they're going to look at the mileage, look at the year of the car, and are they not going to want to touch the car because it has so many high miles and years on it? But just wanted to get your guys' thought as mechanics. Usually what happens in those situations?
Well, that's a good question. That came into my shop. I mean, I guess it depends what the car looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, has it got missing hubcaps and 4 different tires and the window tints peeling off and the ashtrays overflowing from 4 years ago and there's donut wrappers and stuff all in the car? I don't want to work on that car.
Yeah.
But if it's a clean car, and 195,000 miles is a lot of miles, but if it's been maintained, we have a lot of customers with 150, 175. We have a guy with a Honda that has 343,000 miles on a 96 Accord.
Yeah.
So,
right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with if the car's maintained and you've done all those repairs that you should have, there's no reason to bring it into a shop and have someone look at it for you.
Yeah, no, and if they don't want to, maybe it's time to look at a different shop. But if your car is a presentable car and it's not just falling apart and you truly have taken care of it, I would suggest you take it in. And a car with that kind of mileage on it, I want to look at the oil leak, but I want to look at the whole car. You have to be the judge, but tell them I need to have a baseline in my car. I want to fix the oil pan. I want to get the leak fixed, but you should be willing to pay for an inspection. And I would suggest having the whole car looked over. And I'm not just talking about looking for the easy stuff. Oh, I need a filter. I need this.
Yeah.
Really get the whole big picture. Really understand everything that's going wrong with the car. Find out what the oil leak is, and get it fixed. And I wouldn't worry about it at all.
Okay.
No reason
all right.
that shop. So thank you for the call. Good question.
Yeah, good call.
Never really had that asked before.
Yeah.
And I've heard some of the dealers, they don't want to work on the older cars.
We've had customers come in and say the dealer don't want to work on my car anymore.
Well, I think some of it, they don't have people that are capable. They've got all these young guys working there. They don't even know how to work on the older cars. So we are live out here at the Arizona Get Outdoors Expo at WestWorld. We'd love it if you would join us. And we got one more segment to go, Tim, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to help. I think we've got Bob and Gary on the line, and maybe an open line or two at 602-277-5827.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com. I don't know what's going on, but we got the road trip music playing today. I don't know if that's got anything to do with the fact that that Bumper to Bumper is on the road. We're out at the Arizona Get Outdoors Expo out here at WestWorld, 11 o'clock. We're here all day today. Or no, we're not. The show is.
Well, I'm going to go do some fishing when we're done here.
Yeah, I think
what
that
I'm trying to do there is encourage everybody to get outdoors and go to the Get Outdoors Expo and then enjoy the AC.
Yeah, well, the AC is in here. That's the cool thing. You know, the kids, I've said this probably the 4th time now, my kids are whining, I'm bored, it's too hot outside. Come out here.
Yeah, come on down.
There's lots of neat stuff to see. I mean, they can go get them their junior NRA membership, which I encourage you to do. You can go to the Bass Pro Shops fishing deal over there. Some dog trainers. They got a cornhole tournament.
Is it true there's like 3D archery?
There is something. It's like... it's the paintball of archery, I guess, is how I heard Mike Russell describe that. And I'm sure when Mike gets on the air in his Get Outdoors show, they'll be talking about that. So, Bree, I think we need to get to help some people that have been on hold. I think we've got Gary, Bob, and Dave, but I think we're going to take Gary first. He's got a 2011 Chevy Equinox that has got a problem, perhaps. What's going on, Gary?
Well, I parked my car in the garage. I've got one of those, tire saddles, so it's in the same position when I pull in the garage.
Sure.
And I noticed up the right front, right underneath, the engine there, some real thick, heavy grease dripping down. I mean, real sticky.
Okay.
I was in having the oil change the other day, and the guy says it's leaking from my condenser. And I said, okay, thanks, I'll get it checked out. I remember as a kid doing air conditioning installs that, if you put any kind of oil in the AC, it was those little pint jars, the cans that you put in, not a thick grease. The air conditioner is running fine. It blows cold. I'm just looking to see if you guys might have a thought of what it could be.
Well, good question. Thanks, Gary, for calling in. Thanks for listening, too. Initially, when you said that, I thought to myself, well, what's going to be up there in the right front by the engine, Tim? What was your
Axle.
first gut? Yep, an axle boot. When they break, it flings the grease, but sometimes they just leak a little bit, or if they tear open. But that grease is more, I don't know. I don't want to say soupy.
Well, it could also
but
be
it's
an axle seal, too.
It's not tacky, though.
Yeah.
It could be, but he said thick and greasy.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is, in the German cars, we used to call it Cosmoline. It was a undercoating substance that they put underneath the car during shipping to prevent it from rusting. And then a lot of people, and I don't know if they do it so much today, but they would sell add-on undercoating under the car for rust and make it quieter when you're riding. I think perhaps you've got some of that Cosmoline or whatever protectant they put on the car is kind of dripping off. I doubt it's coming from the well, he said, did he say evaporator or condenser?
Condenser.
Now, well, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Condenser's out in front of the radiator.
Yeah.
Thinking maybe what he meant was the evaporator box where the drain is.
But that's
and
clear
I could
water.
See that would be clear water, but I could see them putting some goop around there during assembly to keep that could be a rust point. So I'd be looking at that. Maybe just it's going to be one of those deals you got to get up underneath it. And you know what? If you're going to do that at home, folks, I don't care. I don't care if you're just crawling in there for 30 seconds. It only takes a half a second or a split second for the car to fall on you. Don't get underneath a car without jack stands and a proper jack. just don't do it. Just be safe if you're going to get on there and take a peek. So, Gary, thanks for the call. We're going to take Bob. He's got a 2015 hot rod, maybe, a Dodge Challenger. Bob, what's going on with your Dodge? Nope. Bob, Bree, we got Bob out there?
I'm here.
Oh, there we are. Bob, what's up with your Challenger? How can I help you this morning?
It's a 15 Challenger with the 6.4 liter.
Oh, boy.
And I'm taking it in for the first oil change since I've owned it. It's approaching 9,000 miles. And I just want to know if I should switch to synthetic oil or stay with regular.
Bob, I think you've called in before. You were asking what kind of car to buy a little while ago, weren't you?
I did. I traded in my Dodge Magnum for the Challenger.
I remember. So you got yourself a rocket ship here, I think.
Well, that's pretty quick.
I would be surprised if Chrysler is not requiring a synthetic oil in that car. Read the owner's manual, but I for sure would go with a synthetic oil on that. Don't do what your grandpa taught you, or go with the 2050. Look at the owner's manual and get the right oil. Tim, what do you think? That might be a zero weight oil in that.
Yeah, it could be a 020.
Yeah.
But the key too is don't go by the requirement of, like they probably tell you, every 10,000 miles.
Yes.
Yeah, do not do that.
No, I will not.
Yeah, so I would shorten that. I would definitely.
We recommend 5,000.
Yeah, exactly. And again, don't sell yourself short. Sometimes we recommend 5,000 miles on the oil change. We recommend cutting it, say, like on a Land Rover, from 7,500 or 10,000 down to 5,000. And then, customer got in trouble because they had an extended warranty, but the extended warranty wants the oil changed every 3,000 miles.
Oh.
Well, it doesn't make much sense. We were able to help the customer with that and say, whoa, wait a minute, this can't apply. You're not doing a $150 oil change every 3,000 miles. There's absolutely no sense. Plus, the lack of oil change, or what you call lack of oil change warranty company, has nothing to do with why the water pump failed or whatever it was, a drive shaft or something. So make sure you're following at least what the owner's manual requires, and I would go no more than 5,000. Use the right synthetic oil, and I think you will enjoy your
Challenger,
your new ride for sure. So, Bree, I'm not paying attention here. I lost my notes. I think we've got maybe Dave in Sun City. He's got a question. We're going to squeeze him in real quick.
Yeah, guys. Hey, I've got a 2016 Subaru Forester with the CVT. I'm kind of a car guy. My dad just gave me a 36 Dodge pickup hot rod, so I'm becoming more of a car guy. The thing with the Forester, I'm very particular and sense a lot of things other people don't when I drive a car. And in this case, I feel surge or stutter, like the engine's not running well. And in fact, my wife, who doesn't notice a lot of things, even notices, and it's irritating. I've looked on the blogs and I've talked to the dealer, and they say, well, that's normal for a CVT.
Yeah, David, it is. Sometimes CVTs are weird, and I hate to do this. I'm going to have to cut you off. We're up against a hard break here. Send me an email at bumpertobumperradio.com, and myself or Dave will get in touch with you about that transmission or about those issues. So we appreciate the calls, and if you can get out here to the Outdoor Expo and join us at WestWorld.
Come on down and do some fishing.